This is Bruce Boudreau, and it's time for Clay's Canucks commentary live. Let's go with Clay right now.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary live, presented to you by Vancity Experts Real Estate. I am Canuck Clay Emo, and this is my Canucks take, my NHL playoffs take, all in one take. Thanks for being here. Subscribe now for daily videos, streams, reaction videos, and just a chance to be part of this wonderful community. Thanks everyone for being here. Let's get going right away. So moderators, do what you need to do. Legends, that's actually all members, Legends, Hall of Fame members, and franchise members, thanks to all of you for your support. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether you're in my beautiful neighborhood of Seaston and Richmond, in the city, in the Lower Mainland, in the province, country, continent, or around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I do not take you for granted. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, or all three. But the fact that you are here with me today, I appreciate you, and I never take you for granted. So 18 of you are already in here. Thanks for waiting. Only 5 likes. Let's bump those likes up. So like this video, like the fact that we're together tonight. You can like the fact that the Maple Leafs are still alive, or that the Oilers tied up their series, and we'll get into both of those games tonight. Both Canadian teams playing tonight, which is pretty cool. You can subscribe so you can get my videos every single day, and so you can get active in the chat section. You can leave a donation, get that donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership, which is the same as a $5 donation. You can become a member. You can upgrade your membership. But most importantly, like I said, get active in the chat section. Like the video. Tell your friends where you are right now. And of course, if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review as well. So for today, I'm going to quickly talk about the Toronto-Florida game. I'm going to quickly talk about the Edmonton-Vegas game. And then I'm going to tell you a few stories about from Seattle, about my trip to Seattle yesterday. And yes, I know I didn't cover on a live stream the draft lottery and the $50,000 fine that the Canucks got for working out with coaches, but I've done that on daily videos, and we also did that on Canucks After Dark. So let's go with the 2 NHL playoff games tonight. Then I'll talk about my Seattle trip, and then I'll turn it over to all of you. Sound good? Sounds great. Okay, thanks for sticking with me through that intro. So let's see. Let's start off by talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs games. I don't know about you. I'm not the biggest Maple Leafs fan. I'm not cheering for them actively to lose, but I'm not cheering, admittedly, for them to actively to win. So, hey, glad to see everyone here, whether you're in a campground or whether you are a GM of the team or whatever it may be. Thank you for being here. So this one was a low-scoring affair. In fact, there are no goals in the first period. It was William Nylander on the power play. But before we get to that, I got to recognize a special donation from a special lady. Let's see what she has to say today. Shout out to legendary Carol Bovenlander, who gets the donation train out of the station. And she says this: I just wanted to let you know I had my test today. They're taking the sample to get tested. They don't know if it's cancer now. They think it's something else. So please continue to pray. Well, I will take no cancer over cancer any day of the week. Of course, we don't know what it is just yet. That's what Carol just made the point of saying. But they will do. They will be doing further tests. So if you're the praying type, pray. If you're the send thoughts and good thoughts and wishes, well wishes to her, do that as well. Carol, we're behind you. This community is behind you. And thank you, Carol, for the donation. It's crazy. Carol is the one who needs all our prayers and support, and she's the one who's donating. So thank you, Carol, for your generous donation. Nylander scores on the power play. Really good goal in front. It's more of a bunting play that Nylander was able to Yeah, it was weird. Like Florida had a chance to clear it, and then Nylander showed some good reach and good poise, puts it behind Bobrovsky. Then Marner scores halfway through the third, and then Sam Reinhart scores to break the shutout behind the Justin Hall, who was in net, which is Justin Wall. Sorry, excuse me, which is pretty crazy. And Joseph Wall. I'll get the name right eventually. I think it's Justin Hall or Joseph Wall in net because all their other goalies are hurt, and the Maple Leafs stave off elimination. Yes, one of my favorite words ever, stave. By the way, have you ever used the word stave in any other context than in an NHL playoff game? Stave off elimination? Do you stave off like a bunch of mosquitoes? Do you stave off your sibling trying to steal the last piece of steak? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you've ever used the word stave in any other context than a team in the playoffs trying not to be eliminated. By the way, also Coach Robert, thank you. Coach Robert. No, there's Coach Rob, but I want to say Robert, SDPN, producer extraordinaire and tech guy. Thank you, Robert, for being here. It's late for you, man. It's 2:00. What are you doing? But thank you for being here. Got Robs all over the place. So thank you for being here. So I'm not a huge Maple Leafs fan, but I'm not cheering against them either. And I'm glad that they won today, quite frankly, to make the series more competitive. I don't know if they have 3 more wins in them, but 3-1 is a lot better than 4-0. We'll put it that way. If you look at the stats, shots on goal were pretty even. They dominated the faceoff circle, whatever. Both teams have 1 power play goal, quite a few penalty minutes, mostly minors in there. And then not as many hits as other. We've seen games with 60, 70, even 80 hits. This one only had 47 hits. But look at that, 21 blocks for the Maple Leafs. So that shows a lot of commitment for sure. And then you have Mitch Marner with 2 points. And then it's good. Marner had 2 points. Nylander had 1. You still have Matthews with 0 and Tavares with 0. But more importantly, they got the win. And again, Joseph Wall, not Justin Hall in net. Then for Florida, they only had 1 goal, so you're not going to have any guys that have more than 1 point. You had Sam Bennett with 12 penalty minutes. That kind of sticks out to me a little bit. And then on the hit standpoint, you have, Achari with 7 hits. That's impressive. How did our boy Luke Shen did? Only 1 hit tonight. That's weird. Whereas Jake McCabe had 5 hits. Regardless, congratulations to the Maple Leafs and their fans. They stave off elimination, and they are going at least back to Toronto for Game 5. By the way, on my StreamYard, it doesn't highlight member chats, but I see that Adam used his 3-month membership message. So let's highlight that Adam has been a member for 3 months. So thank you, Adam. Let's give Adam some love. And Adam says, nothing but love for Carol and the regulars here. 20K Clay. Well, I got to get to 10,100 first. It's been really slow, actually, since I got to 10,000, but that's okay. Let's give some love to Adam for sure. Thank you very much for being a member for 3 months now. That is awesome. So that was the first game, the early game. And I didn't get to see any of that because Wednesday night is my church night, only for 1 more week. Next week we are done, but I have 1 more week of church. And then the one that I got to see at least the second and third period of, we have the Edmonton Oilers stomping the Vegas Golden Knights. And we'll talk about the goals really quickly, but then we got to talk about what happened at the end of this game. Nick Bukestad from Costin, 1-0, 6 minutes in. Then Bouchard with a hammer. He's got such a good shot. A one-timer from McDavid behind the net. McDavid out to Bouchard at the point. 2-0. And then Ekholm with also a really great shot, scoring from distance. So 3-0. Going in the first period, first intermission. The Nuge scores in the second, and then Nicholas Wall scores for Vegas, so breaking the shutout of Stuart Skinner. And then we can look at the 33-26 shots on goal. Oilers had 6 power plays. They converted on 1 of them. Look at the penalty minutes. 111 penalty minutes, along with 82 hits. So there's a lot more intensity, a lot more hits, a lot more fighting, a lot more dirty stuff in this game. And I'm going to talk about 2 instances that happened at the very end of the game, and then I'll share with you about my Seattle trip, and then we'll get to all of your questions as well. But first, I want to recognize a Hall of Fame member who's been with me from the very start. Look at that, 24 months. I guess we need a new Fangirl's been here for 2 years. That deserves some love. And she says, wow, 2 years flies by fast. Fangirl, I am so grateful for how loyal you are. You rarely miss a stream. You always ask questions. You always scold people for cheating in the games. And you're one of my most consistent supporters and community members. So let's give some much deserved love to Fangirl in the chat. Member for 2 years now. She was basically a member since I started membership, which is pretty awesome. Okay, now Darnell Nurse and Nicholas Haig have been going at each other all series, and then within the last minute, it was a scrum behind the Vegas net, and Nurse just comes out of nowhere and jumps on Haig. But Haig's a big boy, so they have a pretty good fight. Actually, it went for a long time, and you can see you have Haig fighting against Darnell Nurse, Nurse fighting against Haig, Nurse instigator against Haig. Now, the tricky thing about this, actually, I went out of order, but that's okay. And Coach Rob, he has been a member the Fangirl must have upgraded or downgraded or something, because I know she's been here from the very start. But Coach Rob, not just 24 months, but 26 months. Coach Rob has been here from the start as well. Let's give him some love. He says, wow, where does all the time go? You're telling me I was actually young when I started this channel, and now look at me, old 48-year-old guy, turning 49 next month. Thank you very much. And so thank you, Rob, for the love, for the membership, and the loyalty. Just as I said to Fangirl, same thing for you, Rob. You rarely miss a stream. Even when you're camping, you're setting up your iPad out on the picnic bench, and I appreciate your support as well. And not to be outdone, we must give some love to the legend herself, legendary Carol Bovenlander, not only donating earlier, but now gifting a membership, and it goes to your average dude. Your average dude, the young man from my church, and glad to see that he gets a membership. I'm glad that his parents know that he's on my stream late at night. So Carol, thank you for the gift of membership, and your average dude, you're welcome. Not you're welcome. Well, you're welcome, and you're welcome as part of this community as a member once again. And we see Smiley Hello here for the first time in a long time. Keep it up, you guys. Very generous, whether it's donations or membership chats or gifting memberships. You guys are certainly the best. So let me get through this last thing here. No, you can keep donating. I'm not going to tell you not to donate. So then, Nurse, here's the thing. That penalty came with 50 seconds left. If you get an instigator in the last 5 minutes of a game, regulation or overtime, it's an automatic 1-game suspension. Now, the suspension can be lifted, overturned, whatever word it is. But right now, it looks like Darnell Nurse is in danger of being suspended for the next game, for Game 5, a pivotal Game 5. No one's going to be staving off elimination in that Game 5, but very important that you obviously play when your series is 2-2. And yes, once again, Smiley, hello, welcome back. But 30 seconds before that, it was the slash that everyone is talking about. Draisaitl takes a backhand, misses the empty net, but then Alex Pietrangelo, who I really like as a player actually, or I really respected him, comes in, he lifts his stick over his head, and he two-hand chops Draisaitl. When I first saw the replay, I was scared that it hit Draisaitl on the head or the neck or even the shoulder, but no, it looks like it got him more on the arm. But it just looked so bad the way Pietrangelo went up with his both hands and came down hard. It looked horrible. And then, of course, they didn't have a lot of tough guys on the ice. McDavid took a few swipes. Good for McDavid. Obviously, you don't want McDavid throwing punches and risking hurting his hands. But he got in there for his best friend and his teammate, and basically the early leader for the Conn Smythe Trophy. Draisaitl, he's pretty tough. He's pretty cocky. He was like skating back to the bench. I'm good. I'm sure it hurt. Pietrangelo gets a 5-minute slashing major, and maybe he will get a suspension as well. Not an automatic one, but he might just get given a suspension given how bad that looked. will Nurse's suspension be rescinded? I don't know why it would, because that's the rule, and it's not like he was goaded into it. The whole point of being an instigator is you're the one who starts it. And then I do think Pietrangelo gets two. Makar got 1 game, right? Yeah, this is worse. I think Pietrangelo might get 2 or 3 games. So yeah, great point, Adam. I don't know why Draisaitl and same as weren't Marner and Matthews out there for the last shift. I guess you want offensive players to try and score in the empty net to seal it away in the Florida-Toronto game, but that's a 1-goal game. This is a 3-goal game. That's a great point. They were on the power play when it happened, I think. So that's why I think they're on the power play when it happened. No, they weren't actually. So I'm not sure why Draisaitl and McDavid were out there, but they were, and hopefully McDavid doesn't get hurt, which is pretty scary. That's a great question, Adam, as to why they're on the ice. So we will hear from tomorrow, likely, if Nurse gets suspended. I think he will, 1 game. And if Pietrangelo gets suspended, and I think that will be 2 or 3 games. Now, let me talk about Seattle real quick, and then I'll turn it over to all of you. There, look at who's that good-looking guy? Oh, that's me. So, yesterday, I was blessed with the opportunity to go down to Seattle. And I went with a buddy, and we basically left at 10:30 in the morning, got back at 1:30 in the morning by the time I got home. So it was a 15-hour day. But it was a 15-hour day that I would never take back. It was an awesome day. Seattle got whooped. But and I'll talk about that in a second. But we went down, crossed the border, went for lunch, hit Costco, then got downtown by about 4:30, and then I was so grateful for Missy Love in the chat here. Actually, I'm not sure if she's here right now. But Nadia's mom, who gave us a lot of tips, including a really cool place called the Armory, which was kind of like a food hall, and they had you can watch the game there on giant screens. There's a couple bars there, so we hung out there for about half an hour, and then we went to the arena when the doors opened between 5 and 5:15. And you guys, I'll show you some pictures, but I got to tell you, the arena is amazing. And before we do that, though, want to give some more love to Carol, the legendary Carol Bovenlander, who donates yet another membership. So let's give Carol some love, and her membership this time goes to Jay. So welcome back to membership, Jay, and thank you for your generosity, Carol. Yes, the Armory is great. I've been talking to Rosario. Rosario says always go there before an event. Rosario has been to Climate Pledge Arena 3 times now, probably for 2 games and 1 wrestling event, if I'm correct. Rosario can correct me in the chat. But yes, the Armory is very cool. Food hall, basically a place where you can sit down, watch, have a drink, have a bite. And then we went to the arena. And you guys, I get Rogers Arena is 30 years old, and I get Climate Pledge Arena is only 2 years old. But oh man, this arena makes Rogers Arena look bad. And Rogers Arena has its character for sure, but this arena, between the how spacious the concourse is, the tech, how clean it is, and just really how new it is, puts Rogers Arena, I'm sure many other arenas, to shame. But before we keep going, I want to give some love to Coach Rob. Rosario has 1 hockey game and two wrestling events. Coach Rob gives some membership, same as a $5 donation. Thank you, Coach Rob. And it goes to Smiley Hello, who just walks in here for the first time in 3 months and gets a membership. So hopefully that will convince Smiley Hello to stay. So thank you, Coach Rob, for that membership. And thank you, Smiley Hello, for being here. Rosario said, did you see the living wall? What's that? I saw a couple walls with a bunch of green stuff on it with Climate Pledge Arena signs. Is that what the living wall is? Tell me what it is. I was kind of distracted by everything else that was going on. But one thing about this arena, though, the one thing I didn't like, it's 2 things actually. The seats, it's not very steep. whereas Rogers Arena is kind of steeper. These ones, when you're in lower bowl, it's first world problems. You're kind of sunk, so it's I don't know how to explain it, but or maybe it's just because I had a really really tall guy in front of me. But yeah, actually I shouldn't say that because I think it was just because I had a really tall guy in front of me. Now I think about it, but because the views were awesome and the arena is so good. The one thing I didn't like though, it was very loud, which was fine, but then their PA system, the actual when you hear the voices, the announcer. It's actually a little bit garbled or a little bit unclear. And it's not like I was obstructed by anything. Or maybe it just speaks to how good that Al Murdoch is and how lucky we are to have Al Murdoch in the for the Vancouver Canucks. Smiley says, I'll buy you a beer or two when we get together to watch the Canucks game when Clay organized one and you're in town again. Perfect. That sounds like a good plan for all of you. Now, the living wall is all the grass. Yes, I did see that. So I'll just show you a few pictures. So this was me before the game. You can see there's hardly anyone in there. And those are all towels on everyone's seat. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so that is opening face-off. Looks good. People waving their things like crazy. Their towels, not their things. That is, so we all had these little bracelets that lit up. Obviously, some guy controlling a computer. It could be blue, red, white, whatever. So that was kind of cool. So there they are. There is Missy Love, and there is Nadia. So they came over to see us during the first intermission. So it was really, really cool. Nadia, I have met before. So I interviewed her right when that whole story about Red Hamilton came out. And then I saw her when she was up here in Vancouver. I messaged actually her mother more, which kind of makes sense. We're the same age. And Nadia's closer to my son Sean's age when you think about it, which makes sense. So if Nadia and Sean are almost the same age, then it makes sense that me and Missy are almost the same age. So that was cool. Got to talk during the first intermission. So that was nice. And then, so that's a picture with the two lovely ladies. And then there's me and Nadia. And she made that, whatever that is, on the top of her head, which is pretty cool. Then that was one of those big banner things that went across everyone, the bottom section, as started the third period. That was me. They just had one of those free fan photo things. This was warm up, so my pictures are not in chronological order. It was 6-3, Carol. Dallas won 6-3. There's me in front of the Space Needle, of course. And then now I'm going to show you. So this video is about 50 seconds coming up now, but this was the intro. It's pretty cool. So this was as the Seattle Kraken players were coming on the ice. What do you mean video has no sound? Did they... I wonder if they took the sound off of my video, because when I posted it, it had sound. Darn Instagram. Oh, weird. I get sound on my phone. That's so weird. I get sound on my phone, but not on the Instagram posts. I'm going to try it one more time. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll live. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go to my Facebook and see if the video on there has sound, because I want you guys to hear it, obviously. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, exactly, Rosero. When I'm watching on my phone, it's fine. But then when it's... Okay, let's try this. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It won't be the end of the world. Okay, so that worked, which is good. It's weird. It didn't work it works on Instagram on my phone, but not on my computer. So I see Missy Loves in the chat, so I think I'll put this picture up while I talk about her. She is awesome. Why am I talking third person? You are here. Missy, you are awesome. Thank you so much for being such a great hostess. Thank you for for all your suggestions and for making the time, for coming across all the way from the other side of the arena to hang out during the first intermission. You and Nadia, so good to see you guys. So good to see you guys. And Missy and Nadia have awesome seats. You can't see it here. Yeah, their seats are basically. Whoops. Their seats are behind the Dallas bench, which is pretty cool. Now, a couple things. Yeah, so picture this. Picture these three seats. This is the Seattle bench, though. So picture the exact same seats over a bit further over behind the Dallas net, and that's where. Oh, there. No, that's the Seattle bench again. So behind the visitors bench, which is pretty cool. Oh, you can see it here. So their seats are actually right here. These are their three seats behind the visitors bench, which is awesome. So thank you, Missy. We appreciate it. We appreciate your hospitality, and it was great to see both you and Nadia as well. Now, a couple of things I will share about my experience, and then I'll turn it over to all of you. The Seattle fans were really nice. So when I met people and I told them that we came down from Vancouver and the joke was to see some playoff hockey, they were all super nice. They were asking what the Canucks season was like. So the majority, not all, the majority of the fans that we met were quite knowledgeable, and they were certainly very, very nice. And I kind of joked on Twitter, I wasn't wearing any Canucks gear. I was just wearing I was Team Pepsi. I was wearing my sponsored Pepsi hoodie from Lululemon, which I really like. Anyway, so that's what I was wearing. During the game, because it was 1-0 at the end of one, which is no big deal, but because Dallas pumped so many goals in the second period, going up 4-0, it really took the crowd out of the game. And one thing I noticed is it definitely got quiet pretty darn quick in the second period. And maybe if I was in Rogers Arena, it'd be the same thing too. Like I've seen, but I guess we wouldn't know because we haven't had a home playoff game since 2015. So I did know it was loud pregame. It was loud during the first period, but then it got pretty quiet pretty quick in the second period. But that's understandable. The team was down 4-0. At least they're still tied in the series 2-2. And I would say this too about Seattle Kraken fans. They're mostly knowledgeable, but you can tell, and I say this very respectfully, and not because I think I'm the smartest hockey fan ever or because I've spent so much time, money, and energy on this team. There were times where I felt the crowd as a whole, obviously I can't speak for all 19,000 people there, but they didn't react how I thought they'd react, meaning they weren't like, they're not smart. They know when to cheer, when to boo, penalties, everything like that. But I just felt it's so hard to explain, but it's almost, you can tell it's a young crowd, not in age, but that their franchise is young. That, I guess that's the best way to put it. And I don't know how to explain it more than that. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing I noticed. Or maybe I'm used to cheering for the Canucks in a certain way. And because I didn't have, like, if I had to choose one, I was cheering for Seattle over Dallas, but I wasn't invested, say, as much as I am in a Canucks game. Maybe that makes me kind of one stage removed as well. So not a big deal. I'm not trying to cause any controversy here. It's just something that I kind of noticed. So I'm not sure if Missy would agree with me, but yeah, it was just something that I noticed. That I noticed when I was there. Now, you're wondering what I bought? Yeah, so Missy says, it's the best, but like Clay said, it's new, so of course it's cool. So, the two things I bought yesterday. I bought this awesome Wuzu fan from Costco. It's all over social media and stuff. I think it's $50 or $60 here in Canada. I got it for $30 US with a $10 rebate, like 40 down to 30. So even with the exchange rate, that's 30 times 1.3. That's still a $40 purchase. I think this is more 50 or $60 here. I think. So this is going to be for this office. Actually, I'll probably put it either back there or over there, out of sight, because it's going to get very warm in here in the summer. Then when I got to my seats, they had this on our seats. Bring the sound. Even though it's kind of ironic because a towel doesn't make any sound. But bring the sound. All right. And then, yes. I did buy one Seattle Kraken. I bought a Kraken t-shirt. So there we go. Seattle Kraken. We'll wear this in at an appropriate time. But yes, a Seattle Kraken t-shirt as well. So there, I did actually get a couple things. And one was a fan at Costco. And then the other was a Seattle Kraken t-shirt at the actual game. So there's my experience. I got home by between 1 and 1:30. I was a little bit tired today, but nothing I can't handle. That's the time I usually get home from Tuesdays, right? Anyways, because I'm usually at my church from 12 to 1 and then dragging my butt home. So there we go. Overall, a great experience in large part to Missy's hospitality. So thank you, Missy, to you and Nadia. Let me do my mid-show sponsor read, and then I will get to all of your questions and comments. So let me give a shout out to my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout out to my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform, personal training, weight loss. See what they're all about at ptform.com. Thank you to Gassy Jack Art, maker of this fine artwork. Thank you to Monkey Nine Brewing, my eternal sponsor. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks off of your next purchase of Vessi shoes. Mid-show reminder to you to subscribe, to like the video, to become a member, to upgrade your membership. You can gift memberships as people have been doing. Thank you. I think it was Carol and Coach Rob. And you can leave donations as well. Yeah, Smiley, I bought the Wusu fan because it just looked good in Costco. And then I know my wife, Gail, has talked about it recently as well. So I saw 40 minus $10 instant rebate. To me, that was 30 US. That's still 40 Canadian. I remembered it was more expensive up here. So to me, that was a good enough deal. In fact, I'm going to look up Wuzu fan right now. How much is it here? It is... What? This is $90 on Amazon. Is this the same fan? Then I got a good deal. If it's $90 on Amazon and I got it for 30 American, yeah, Amazon, yeah. Unless I'm looking at the wrong one. Regardless, I'm saying that I got a good deal. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Maybe Wuzu should be, yeah, exactly, Andrew. Maybe Wuzu should be my new name. Not like Wuzu Clay, but Wuzu Emo. Of course, people call me Emu, so Wuzu Emu, but that's not right on any front. Okay, enough blabbering. Let's go. Give me your, for now, let's start with Canucks playoff, hockey, and Seattle related questions only. So Canucks hockey, playoff, and hockey related questions. I would be happy to answer them. Wuzu Canuck Clay. Fangirl, with reports that teams want a high draft pick for Garland, do you think Myers will be easier to trade? I see what you're saying is because you don't have to throw in a draft pick for Myers. I think the fact that Myers is a right shot D and we pay him his little bonus and he's got an expiring contract, I think that easier to trade. It's hard to compare who would be easier to trade, but yeah, you never want to have to throw in draft picks to make a trade work. That's for sure. Let's give some love. Wrong one. Little rusty here. Andrew, 27 months. So we had Fangirl at 24 months. We had Coach Rob at 26 months. Legendary Andrew Chang at 27 months says, long live Wuzu Canuck Clay. I'm not sure if that's going to stick, but I like it. Thank you for your loyal. Andrew has always been at the highest membership level. So I appreciate from the very start. So I appreciate him. And I also appreciate the fact that Andrew just dropped a $5.50 super sticker. So thank you, Andrew. Andrew coming in like the true legend that he is. So not only using his membership message, flexing his 27 months of membership, but coming through with a donation as well. Thank you, Andrew, for your generosity, for sure. Let's get back to your questions and comments. What was your favorite part about Climate Pledge? Rosie, great question. I think honestly, the anticipation of going down this massive escalator. So there's still two concourses. There's the upper, but the upper hardly goes to any sections. The highlight is the main concourse, which then you have to walk down because you basically have to come in and you're at the top level, and the arena is built underground, basically underground level. And I think maybe the highlight was the anticipation of coming down that big escalator, quite frankly. And then it just felt new overall. But the one thing is, the Canucks actually, when it comes to in-game entertainment, they don't have the technology that Climate Pledge has, but the Canucks run more activations. They run more contests. I feel like the Canucks actually get the fans more involved. Now, again, maybe it's because I wasn't looking for the right things, the right places, and maybe because the Seattle was down, and maybe because it's a playoff game, they do less because the crowd is going to be engaged more. But another thing I love is in our club section, they had free charcuterie and free wine, which is, I didn't drink it, but the person I went with did. So that was pretty cool. I still drank my Pepsis, which I had to pay for. But overall, maybe the food and the atmosphere and the big escalator were my favorite parts about Climate Pledge. Yeah, it was good. It was nice. It was very nice. Will you be shocked if Alvin does not address the cap issues we are having? Yes, I would be shocked. I think, now I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I think they're going to try very hard. Thoughts on being overcapped already? We knew that, Erwin. So it wasn't a surprise to me. We knew that was going to be an issue. They got a lot of time. No Toronto bashing, not for me. Which Kraken jersey would you get? If I had to get a Kraken jersey, I think I'd get a young guy like Beniers. I don't need a Gord. I don't need a McCann now. I don't need an Eberle. Don't need a Schultz. Don't need a Larson. Maybe outside chance is geeky, but probably Matty Beniers if I was going to get one. Good question. Good question. Would I take Jack Hughes or Connor Bedard if you had a chance? If you're just giving it to me, yes. I'm not sure if there's a second part indigo to that question, but yes, I would take Jack Hughes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so stupid. Unless it's funny, the way I read it, or maybe you're asking me, would I take Jack Hughes or Connor Bedard if you had a chance? So I think maybe indigo, you're asking me who I would take. I think Jack Hughes has been great. I think Connor Bedard could be even better. So I'll take Connor Bedard, even though we're seeing what Jack Hughes can do. Yeah, that was a brain fart there. We're all tired, indeed. You need a new contract agreement. Okay, Andrew, we'll start negotiate. Maybe we won't negotiate in public, i.e. on the stream, but we'll talk. No talk. Wanting to end the show. Yes. Oh, when I put the Bruce thing. Actually, that wasn't even the ending. That was the intro. So no, I want to start the show again. Do I think Bedard will pull Lindros? No. And what it means is Eric Lindros got drafted by Quebec, forced himself out of Quebec by basically saying, I am not going to play in Quebec. Quebec trades Lindros to Philly, but you know who Quebec gets back? Peter Forsberg and like 3 other assets. But even Forsberg for Lindros, Quebec actually won that trade. So that's what it means. I don't think Bedard is going to pull a Lindros. How was concession food in Seattle? It was fine, and it was bloody expensive. Yeah, the escalators. Oh, Carroll got booted out. Welcome back. I wouldn't envy Alvin and Rutherford. They have draft talks on top of tough player discussions and who to trade or keep. Yes, but Fangirl, every single GM and president has that dilemma. For sure. Rogers Arena has underground parking under it 2 levels. I believe Climate Pledge has underground parking off to the side. Yeah, because you go any deeper, it's gonna be too warm. That was a bad joke. That didn't even make sense. Ottawa has so many celebrities wanting to buy them. Ryan Reynolds, shopping dog. I think that means Snoop Dogg, The Weeknd, and The Rock. Pretty nice that one of them would want to buy the Canucks. Yeah, we'll have to get some. Maybe we'll get our own band like Dr. Dre and Eminem. Maybe they'll want to buy the Canucks. I hope they don't trade picks, not for the next few years. Yeah, it's pretty boring. Remember in 2020 when we didn't have a first or second round pick, we had to wait till Yoni Yormo was picked in the 3rd round. Why am I the only one who's glad Chicago won? Chicago cannot even make the playoffs even with 2 Connor Bedards. Yeah, Mr. Joker has nothing to do with them now. It has everything to do with the way they handled the whole Kyle Beach scandal and how they weren't. Many people felt they weren't penalized enough by the team. Water in Seattle is $10. Yeah, I think it's 12 now, isn't it? Yeah, so about 15 Canadian. I hope Chicago doesn't pull an Edmonton, making Connor automatically captain. I doubt it. I doubt it. How expensive is Rogers Arena concession compared to Climate Pledge? Rogers Arena, like I buy a carved sandwich. It's now on $18, $19. You can get White Spot for $12. So Rogers Arena is still cheaper for sure. And you're paying Canadian money, which is the big thing. Besides Bedard, great Uncle James played 22 games for Chicago. Oh, wow. Your uncle played 22 games for Chicago? That's pretty cool. Well, Canucks fans come up with chant to flatter Bedard. Yeah, what would you say, though? What would you say? I think fans will be cheering him as opposed to booing him. We just need to convince Buble to pitch a purchase from. Yeah, as long as he doesn't make bubbly the official team drink, I'll be fine. Do you think the Canucks will name a captain next season? Yes, I do. I don't think there's a need to wait. Imagine hearing Chelsea Dagger every time Connor scores. Thank you, Smiley, for making me feel sad once again. We don't know if Bedard will work out. It's possible he can still be a bust. Yeah, anything's possible, but I doubt he's gonna be a bust. We love you, Bedard, is what we'll all chant. Doesn't have a great chanting cadence, but okay, we'll go with it. Did you use any of the concession in Climate Pledge? What do you think of the Amazon technology they use? Was that what it is? I know it's contactless, and I did buy a couple things. I thought it was fine. I didn't know it was Amazon technology. What is Amazon technology? But yeah, I thought it was everything was pretty smooth, except when I bought the shirt. Actually, I had to put in my card twice. I really make sure that I didn't get charged twice. All right, let's do 3 or 4 minutes, you guys, of hockey and playoff and Seattle and Vancouver related questions. Then we'll do 10 minutes of Ask Me Anything, and this will be basically an hour stream tonight. Will you be watching Team Canada and U.S. World Championships? I won't make a point to watch it, Harry, but I'll follow some of the scores and follow some of the stats, but I won't make it a point to watch it. Is it possible that PD is captaincy involved in negotiations? No, I don't think so. I don't think you can go there, nor do you want to go there. Yeah, it just sets a bad precedent. Aside from Ole Ulevi, who else has been a bust in the NHL recently? Nolan Patrick, who was picked number 2 to Nico Hischier. I think he has been a bust. And sometimes it's not their fault, right? Sometimes it's really unfortunate injuries. We want Bedard. Yeah, I think it's we want Connor, because we want Bedard just doesn't sound as good. But yeah, it could be a we want Connor chant for sure. Friends will last. Maybe we might not get to complete hour, but we'll go for another 5 or 10 minutes. Let's get to Ask Me Anything now. So I'll take 1 or 2 more minutes of hockey-related questions as the transition period, but then we'll go to Ask Me Anything for the last 5 to 10 minutes. And by the way, you guys know. Actually, give me a second. Let me make sure I don't fall behind first. The Canucks have a good depth group, but what should the Canucks do during the offseason to improve their core players? Well, you just said it. They don't have to improve their core. They have to get stronger around their core. So that means third line center. That means better defensemen. I think Toronto has no chance against Florida. The fans should have kept quiet. We want Florida. Yes. Well, at least they won a game, though. Neil Yakupov was also a bust. That's a good answer, too. Okay, guys, as we wait for your Ask Me Anything questions, I know I originally was going to stream the third period. Man, every time I stream a game or a third period, it's not close. I want to stream a game or third period that is very close. So today it wasn't the case. I think it was 3-0, 4-0 going into the third period. So I want to know basically if you guys would prefer me or be open to me trying those third period streams, especially as we get to later rounds, or if you like this late night 11 p.m. I'm going to do a quick poll real quick. And let's say you can only pick one. I'll say, what is your preference? In-game streams, in-game stream, late night stream. Okay, so I put it in the poll. Just vote. Let me know what your preference is if you had to pick one. Sushi this week. Yeah, I had it today for lunch and dinner, actually. I had it at work, and then I also had it for dinner at church before our church night started. Do I think Pietrangelo gets at least a 1-game suspension? Yeah, Erwin, I mentioned this earlier. I think he gets a 2 or 3-game suspension, actually, because that was nasty, especially the way that he wound up with 2 hands for sure. What else we got? I just got to send... How about... Oh, Come Home Connor. That might work, actually. Come Home Connor. Yeah, I like that, actually. It's got to... and it's got to be a 2-syllable name because 1-syllable names simply don't work. Come Home Connor. I like that. Could you imagine a Canuck player shows up at the meetup? That would be amazing. I don't think that would ever happen, but that would be pretty cool. What are your thoughts on Vancouver moving up another major player? What are your thoughts? And what you do with their GM? Depends what you have to give up. I think they're going to keep their 11th overall pick. How do you feel your live streams for the playoffs game went? Better than you expected for the channel? Any initial learnings and takeaways? Indigo, I've only done 3. Actually, I think I've only done 2. I did the Dallas-Seattle entirety of game 2, and then I did the third period of Vegas-Edmonton game 3. That's it. I've only done 2. They're both small, but it's funny. Even though they only average about 30 to 40 viewers, I get more subscribers when I do it because what happens is I get people from other markets and other fan bases. By the way, my camera, I didn't charge it, so it's about to die. So if it dies early, the stream will end early, or I'll just set up another camera. But it looks like it's going to die in the next couple of minutes. Do you see how Florida tried to pass the flag around, but it ended because there weren't enough people? I did see that. If you could go to New York and see one in Hamilton or another Broadway show, like I would go see Hamilton out there. Do you have content ready in case the Canucks ask you to ride an intermission Zamboni at the end of the crowd? Oh yeah, I'll always think of something. Good question. Which Canuck player would you like to have join the meetup? I think, P.D. Hughes would be fun. I think Miller would be the most entertaining, or Kuzmenko too, but maybe JT Miller. Did I like Radiohead as a band? No, I know nothing about them. Will the Canucks make a trade to get a better pick at the draft? I think they're going to stay put or trade down. I don't think they're going to trade up. My stepdad has a buddy who is the Canucks Zamboni driver. That is awesome. No camera, just do a voice podcast to finish. No, if that thing dies, I can quickly... If that camera dies, I'll quickly hook up this one to finish off the stream. Oh! So I'm hooking up another... Wow, Murphy's Law. I'm hooking up another camera as we speak. Let's see how fast that works. I'm going to see... Oh, here it comes. No. How do I switch the camera? Boy, this is really great, I'm sure. Oh, not bad. So sorry about that. Oh, I'm glad I was able to pull that camera out just as that was, that wasn't the smoothest transition ever, but that was probably some of the best timing ever. I reached down to grab it just as the camera died. So now I don't have to rush so much. Connor, you're a Canuck. Do you think that we'll get some new players for next year? Carol, we don't have a lot of cap space, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. The Canucks have to move out a lot of cap space first. Have I ever had surgery? No, I've had stitches. I've had a steak. I almost choked to death. I had to get a steak pushed down into my stomach. But no, I've had ankles twisted. I've had cuts. I've had staph infection. I've had inflamed intestine. But no, I have never, and I've had concussions, but I've never had surgery. Great question. He spoke it into existence. I can do that sometimes. Gosh, now this camera's really close to me though. There, let's try that. That timing. Thank you, Chris. I try. Do late night streams and occasional game stream. Yeah, and I think, I don't think I'll do, I think I'll do it through the playoffs only because I'm not studying right now. I'm in between courses, but during the regular season, I won't be able to because I'll be back to studying, back to prep, back to church, back to bowling, and I'll be at a lot of the home games. But I do have an idea for post games for Canucks for next year, but I have to kind of weigh the SDPN, which I still want to do as well. Exactly, Jay. As I say that, poof, called it. Perfect timing. Would it be confusing for the PA announcer, including both Pettersson goals? Yeah, it would, but I'm not sure how many assists Pettersson, the D-man, is going to get. Top place to visit that Jesus was in the Bible stories. Maybe where he did the Sermon on the Mount. That would be kind of cool. But anywhere in the Holy Land, for sure. Some places in Europe. Yeah. Jerusalem would be cool. For sure. If Canuck Clay replaced Crazy P as in-house hype man, how would it go? As much as I make fun of Crazy P, I think he does a good job. I think he's got a tough job. I think I'd be pretty good, but I don't know if this thumbs up thing is that's going to hype the crowd up as much. I think I'm a better dancer than him for sure. He's got a loud voice, but I have a loud voice too. I think I'd do just fine. I have to get in a bit better shape though, because he's on his feet for a good 2.5 hours. Thank you guys. You guys said you preferred the late night streams as opposed to the game streams. 35-4 surgeries from wow, Jay, that's crazy. How did you almost choke to death? Kind of embarrassing. I was so hungry and so excited to eat Gail's cooking that I put a steak in my mouth and I didn't chew it. Tried to swallow it and it got stuck. I was still breathing, which was good, but it got stuck in my esophagus and I couldn't talk. I hope I didn't scare you there. I couldn't talk. I couldn't make any noises, but I was breathing. So they tried to Heimlich me. It didn't work. I tried to like ram myself into that didn't sound good. I tried to ram myself into a countertop. That didn't work. So they took me to the hospital. They numbed my throat, so they said, and then they basically took a tube and instead of bringing the steak up, they pushed it down my throat into my stomach. And they said that they numbed it, but they didn't numb it because I could feel the tube. It was the most painful thing I've ever felt. Yeah, I thought a COVID test was bad. This is really bad. So I basically almost choked to death because I was too excited to eat Gail's steak. What are your thoughts on swimming? I suck at it. Gail's really good at it. I suck at it. I can stay afloat. I can, my backstroke is probably better than my front stroke, but I can stay afloat, but I'm not very good at it. And I don't particularly enjoy it. Surgery is a surreal thing. They give you the mess they give you. Don't remember falling asleep. Next thing you know, you're waking up speaking from experience. Okay, sorry. We need more punctuation, fangirl. But I hear what you're saying. Surgery is a surreal thing. They give the something that you don't remember falling asleep. Boom. Period. Next thing you know, you're waking up. Period. Speaking from experience. Yes, I know you've had multiple surgeries as well, Fangirl. Your Canucks fan reacts to draft lottery did better in views, relatively speaking. No, it did. It did. Imagine if we were reacting to Connor Bedard, us winning the draft lottery. But yeah, that was a fun little video. I actually recorded the whole reaction, like 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. But I didn't find it was that entertaining, actually, because maybe we were so nervous or so excited. So I thought that the 40 seconds that I did post was pretty good. And as I mentioned, as I retweeted, if you go back and watch it, the funniest thing is that, actually, I'm just going to pull it up right now, because the funniest thing to me about that video, and I didn't bring this up the first time I showed this on Monday night, but the funniest thing that many of you guys pointed out was how Gail goes back and goes for some popcorn. Like she sat for a second, and then she goes back and she focuses on her popcorn. So I'm going to show this to you real quick now. We'll just play it once, but I would ask you to watch what happens right after we find out we do not get it. Just watch Gil in the background. It's pretty darn funny. Stand with us. Here we go.
Vancouver. The number 11 overall selection in the 2023 NHL draft belongs to...
No!
It's Vancouver.
Okay, here she goes.
At 11.
Oh. That the Canucks had selected 11 overall, which was way back in 1982.
I thought there was a shot when we...
Number 10.
Yeah, that's it. My lovely wife eating popcorn in the background. How many years will it take for Jonathan? Well, so much for asking me anything tonight, but who cares? How many years will it take for Jonathan Lekarmak to play for the Canucks? Give him 1, if not 2 more years. How is Pettersson jersey name situation going to be when the D-man comes to the big? Well, I think you have to put a first initial on the defenseman, because obviously they're both exact same initials, so an exact same name. I think you go E. Pettersson for the defenseman. Surgery on my right arm after waiting 2 weeks after I broke it on the arena's icy park. Oh, that stinks. Sorry to hear that. If you had to name your kids again, not the names they already have, what names would you choose? Ooh. Sean. Let's call Sean. I was going to go Elias, Brock, and JT or Quinn. Oh, that's a really good question. I think a biblical name of some sort. Maybe Sean's middle name, Isaiah. I would name him his first name, Isaiah. For Jacob, Noah, Nathaniel, those were some of the other names. And then for Kayla, I don't know. Would you go with like an Olivia or a Rachel? Good question, Jay. I have to think about that one. That's a great question. Canuck Clay can replace Crazy P when he retires, and Clay can do the gritty. That's true. I'm sure that will go over very well. Oh, that's sad, Jay. That's sad. Somehow Crazy P knows my name when I never told him. That's cool. That's cool, Zach. The meds, I mean. Thank you, Fangirl. Only entertaining thing about the lottery was Kevin Week's spoiler. Yes, that was very interesting. It's not rigged. It was just bad production. Surgery is surreal. Last time I had surgery, I remember going to the operation room. The next thing I remember is waking up 3 hours later with my dad feeding me a popsicle. Wow. I hope it was a good popsicle. That sounds like a major surgery if it was 3 hours later. One lottery ball off, indeed. And I agree with J. E. Pettersson. Okay, friends, last 2 minutes, because we are at the 1 hour mark. That was a very fast 1 hour. And it sounds like to you that that you guys, well, 85% of you said that you prefer the late night as opposed to the in-game streams. What was my reaction when the Canucks were fined $50K from the NHL? Honestly, Harry, didn't have a reaction. Wasn't mad, wasn't sad. Didn't really have a reaction. It happened like 13 years or 11, I think. The hospital didn't think it was that bad, but my bone shifted overnight one time. Oh, and you can barely sleep. Why? I don't think I can sleep tonight just thinking about it. Crazy P. Name throws me off. Okay. Hernia. Wow. That's tough. Plans for the weekend? Thank you for asking, Indigo. Friday night, probably watch Vegas, Edmonton, and maybe do a stream about it. Then Saturday, playing music for a church event. Saturday night, taking one of our priests out for dinner. Sunday, it's Mother's Day, so we're running some errands, helping Gil's family out. The boys are working in a church event, and then we'll take Gil out for dinner. Then I'll see my mom on Monday night. 4.5 hours, major surgery, yes. Take care, Coach Rob. I voted late night, but either no problem, Chris. And you guys, I think I should probably end it there because a lot of the hockey questions. So I guess people missed the part where I said ask me anything, which is fine. There's some really, really good questions tonight, but I think I will end it there for sure. So thank you everyone for being here. I always appreciate you. I never take you for granted. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Carol Bovenlander, and legendary Andrew Chang, and Hall of Fame and franchise members for your support as well. We have donations from Carol and from Andrew, 2 legends tonight. We have membership messages from Adam Lee, Fangirl, and Coach Rob. And we have membership gifts from Carol and Coach Rob. So we had all 3 tonight. We had gifting, we had membership messages, and we had flat out donations. So thanks to everyone for their generosity. Make sure you hit up Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training, Weight Loss as my sponsors. Always appreciate them. And for me, I'm not sure what I'll be doing tomorrow night. I might just take it easy after really a long run of studying, bowling, religious ed. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll end up watching one of the games and streaming the third period. I'll kind of see how I'm feeling when I get home from work tomorrow. But I hope you guys have an awesome day tomorrow and an awesome rest of the night. Hopefully most of you are going to bed. And I do appreciate you guys being here as always. So on your way out, subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, become a member, upgrade your membership, or gift a membership. Thanks to everyone who did all of those things tonight. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Okay, friends, you guys are awesome. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And by the way, just preparing for when I get old, I paid for a wig. I bought a wig today, and I only paid $1 for my wig. $1 for my wig. It was a small price to pay. God bless, and go Canucks go. Booyah.